Welcome to the Corey Shepherd Podcast, episode 16. Welcome to all the new listeners. Welcome back to everybody who's been listening. Thanks so much for everybody who's been tuning in. Cadence Club, that's the place to find the episodes, right? So I will always share the link with everybody, and it will be on my Facebook page, Corey Shepherd Podcast, Instagram, Corey Shepherd Podcast, on Twitter as the Corey Shepherd Pod. Keep in mind, guys, you could close off the link that I sent for the new episodes, and you'll find all the old episodes there so you could catch up. On that same link, you could subscribe to the mailing list, discuss and add your comments and everything. For everybody who's been saying they find out talking some lal and they want to answer, that's the place to answer for now, until you find yourself here. But wait until you find yourself here to give me the real juice. So, episode 16. What's 16 in play again? You know?
Jam it.
All right, so welcome to Stacy.
I know that one.
You know it's Jam It?
I know that one.
So you don't think that is why you're here, like invited to this episode?
I will walk out this door.
Walk out which door? What is this, episode 15 or 16?
I think it's 16.
Jam It, woman. Welcome on board. What's good?
Idea.
Hey, why are you trying to song like you're in the game?
We're going through this again.
Yeah, you're trying to song like I did. So what's going on? What's the scene?
I good.
What's up with you?
Life is good.
Yeah, I know. So you're coming on now on an episode, finally. So much of episode you sleep through.
So the last one was not an episode?
No, that was a conversation.
Oh, okay.
Keep up with the podcast jargon.
Oh, all right.
That was a conversation.
So,
And it didn't perform so well enough, so I'll bring you back here to see if you could salvage yourself.
listen, if one person listened to that, that is a lot. So,
Well, listen, before I go too far into this, one person who listened is Carol Shepherd. You know Carol Shepherd?
Cousin Carol.
Cousin Carol. Cousin Carol tell me Nurse Timothy is her family.
Okay.
Nurse Timothy is her mother, brother,
So,
wife,
her aunt.
aunt.
Right.
But I mean, me and you might be family. It might be kind of incest.
Babe, what?
Once Carol started that story, I was kind of worried. You know, I said, Carol, where is going?
How you connected that?
Carol said, I listened to the episode with you and Stacy, small word. And the next thing I see is, I related to. So, well, this is bad. Little family. That's how Zachary tells us. Anyway, so here what we're doing this week, right? We have some things to talk about here. You see in this board?
I'm not looking at the board.
Look at the board, man. We had to talk about all these different topics. Today is not about me and you. Today is podcast topics.
All right.
We're starting here. You know what on the board here?
No. You just lead the way.
I'm going to record this. I'm going to save that statement.
Lead the way.
I'm going to save that statement. All of a sudden, when you're on our mic, is but lead the way.
Head of the household.
Oh, yeah, head of the household.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All of a sudden. So here now, you know where we want to start?
No, that's what I said. Lead the way. I cannot understand your handwriting on that board. So
Listen, the way you do a podcast, right, is when I ask some things, you have to answer as the guest on the podcast. I say, you know where I want to start? This is cricket. Let me try that again. You know where we want to start?
where?
Your favorite topic.
What's that?
Sports. So let's talk about the Premier League.
Can I call me in after, you know?
Let's talk about the Premier League real quick. So Premier League start back. The thing about the sports, right, is I think you've seen it too. Like the sports helping me maintain my sanity through this little COVID time. I never thought I would miss getting up and go to work. You missing going to work?
Not at all.
You hate them little children.
Babe, what?
What kind of work is do again?
Babe.
I want to know what kind of work
An
is do.
educator.
No. What is it? They don't have job title name educator.
An educator.
You're a teacher.
We leave it there.
And you leave them kids alone. You stay with Zachary one day in your online school, you're done with that.
He didn't need me after that.
Clearly.
I stayed the first day to make sure he was well equipped.
What's the equipment with while you stay there?
Well equipped to handle the online thing, and I realized that he was, so he didn't need me there.
Premier League is back in full swing. We reach the middle of what we in now, week 2. And Premier League, to me, for anybody who listening, is more about these days, as a Chelsea fan, so I'll get to that. But it's more about the fantasy football for me these days. And I tell myself I have a good fantasy week. I score some good points and my side clicking. And then to begin the weekend, I see my side start to click again. I say, right, it's the first time I ever start a fantasy season good. I see Calvert-Lewin and Everton score a hat-trick. You know what's a hat-trick?
Yeah, 4.
A hat-trick is 4.
Or 3.
On record.
Oh,
hat-trick is 4. So Calvert-Lewin score a hat-trick. And I say, well, all right, my points in the bag. But the night before, I had Pulisic from Chelsea. And he clearly wasn't playing. So I say, Pulisic, I say, let me change him to either Son or James Rodriguez. What are you watching him what's over?
I'm confused. I don't know what you're talking about.
You just pay attention. You will learn. I say Son or James Rodriguez. One of them I'm going to change him to. And last minute, I say, boy, Man U first game is this weekend. Let me get a little Man U coverage. I'm going to pull in Rashford. Rashford didn't say nothing. Man U lost. Rodriguez score about 1,000 points. Son score 4 goals. Harry Kane score like a goal and 4 assists. So I'm right back to where I am in fantasy. Anybody who listening to this know wild card is on the way. But back to the football. Chelsea is not where we need to be. I think we spent some good money and the side is just not it. Havertz looking thing. I mean, the striker looking, we're not in for. You agree?
I agree.
Werner ain't looking so hard. Where you find Werner looking?
He looking tired.
Werner ain't looking like he had a killer instinct in front. I was looking forward to see Tammy Abraham come on. Everybody looking a couple of steps behind. So hopefully there's not one of them seasons for Chelsea. And I mean, it was Liverpool, so it was a hard game. You know who's Liverpool?
Yes.
Who's played for Liverpool?
Dwight York.
Oh my God, this is going from... You don't know who's played for Liverpool? Your favorite player, who name you like to call all the time?
Which one of them? I have so many.
Name 3 EPL players.
What is
EPL is Premier League.
Oh, English Premier League.
Name 3 English Premier League players.
Ori.
Sorry, who again?
Salah, Mo Salah.
That is who's playing for Liverpool. That is the star.
Right.
Who's the third
Mo
one?
Salah. And the tall one,
It's all one.
Ibrahimovic.
Okay, so... So, Man U was looking good. Where was I talking about? Yeah, Chelsea, it was Liverpool. Liverpool is a bomb squad. There was good. Thiago come and play a little thing when he realized we done lost already. But I think the red card is what make Chelsea... It gave up the hope of winning the game. If we had any hope of maintaining a draw, winning that game, that red card was a scene. But the problem is with Christensen getting that red, I can't even blame him. Because when you watch back and you see a keeper named Keeper who can't keep, you have a real problem. So you have to pull down anybody who running at that keeper. And keeper needs to go. They say a keeper named Mendy is supposed to be coming in. I hope he could play from Saturday. You know what's a keeper?
Yes.
What's a keeper?
The person who tries to keep the ball out of the goalpost.
No, that's pretty much everybody. But the goalkeeper is the one who could use his hands doing that. Right? Good. All right. So we getting somewhere, man. The sports section ain't as bad as I thought. But other than that, Man U ain't looking so 100. Liverpool looking like they're sparking. Tottenham look like the worst in week 1, and all of a sudden Tottenham beating people. I think it's like 5-1 or 5-2. So it was a good weekend in EPL. So I pretty much could see, you could confirm this, Stacey. I planted on the couch from Saturday morning till late Sunday night.
Unfortunately.
Why is that unfortunate? That's a good thing. It just says the king of the household and all these nice
King.
things. What's the word you use?
King, head.
The head is the king?
No. One king in this house.
Who's the one king?
His name is Jesus.
Babe, I feel this whole podcast, it might be over. The child really says go to church and do other things more. So, that was EPL. My Saturday started off good and then a bad. And then Sunday morning, it just went downhill even more because then my team done play and I have no points to get. But then there was NFL. And NFL on Sunday is a fresh start. Chelsea lost, but I know the Patriots going and win.
Right.
You know who's the Patriots?
Yes.
Where they from?
New England.
And who's the quarterback?
Right now?
Mm-hmm.
It was Tom Brady.
And
they got the tall, strapped guy now.
So everybody tall. Tall is your first indicator. So Cam Newton.
Right, the one with 100 children.
I don't know nothing about that, ma'am. He have 100 children. He have plenty of children.
I think it's 7.
7 good.
Right.
7 good. He needs to bring some of them children to do some receiving this week, though, because it's a work in progress. I was telling Colonel, listen, week 1 with the Patriots, you play against the Dolphins in Foxborough. You know what's Foxborough? Just say yes.
Yes.
So Foxborough is home.
It's home for the Patriots.
And the Dolphins is just place where he's beat people. Dolphins, I mean, is a team that is just beat every year, coming and going, home and away. But
so we won, though.
In week 1?
Yeah, we won.
Who won?
I consider myself a Patriot.
Who is we? You? Wow. So Patriots won the game. But as the Dolphins, so I know you couldn't judge nothing based on that. And then we had a good game, and you could see Cam Newton clicking with the team a little bit. So it's encouraging, but we lost. We just didn't have what it takes. And then I was telling myself, well, all right, Chelsea lost, Patriots lost. Let me turn on and see Tom Brady
Just now,
lost.
Patriots lost?
Yeah, or you was just saying we. What do you mean? This was last week we played Dolphins.
Yeah, I was there.
No. You was there last week. This was yesterday we play again.
Oh.
It happens every week, the NFL.
Oh,
have a
so we lost
tendency-
this week?
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
They have a tendency to play every week.
Okay.
Right? So I just letting you know what to expect for the next how much ever Sundays and Mondays and sometimes Thursdays and Saturdays later on. So
I dropped the ball there, boy. I thought.
hey, boy, I say you're truly trying to sound sportsish. Yeah, but Cam Newton, we really didn't make it. I mean, Brady. So my thing was this. That was the exact type of game that Brady would have win. You're late in the game, you're down by about a score or 2 scores. That's where Brady is shine and come back and win games and sour everybody. But boy, Cam not there yet. So let's see, it's only 2 games and we 1-1. Not leading the division like we usually do. You know what's the division?
Yeah.
What's the division?
Guys. Yeah.
So I say I will tune in later on the day now to see Brady lost. That will be my next joy because Chelsea done lost, Patriots lost. I say I will check out Brady because that was looking bad last week.
And Brady is with who now?
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
What's the name of Tampa Bay?
Buccaneers.
That is impressive. Oh, you know that?
Buccaneers, yeah.
Yeah, the Bucks play and they win the game. They really look decent. They look in control, a little more in control.
So it's like an East Coast, West Coast kind of thing.
Well,
The division is like East Coast, West Coast.
that's how the NBA is sounding like if it's gangster rap. But it's like the NFL have some called the NFC and the AFC.
Right.
So national. Why are you saying?
Because
right?
I remember it coming back now.
I don't know what coming back exactly. But in the NFC have teams from the East and West, and in the AFC have teams from the East and West. So think of it like a merging of 2 leagues,
Okay.
and then they play against one another. So the AFC title winner who come out of the AFC plays against the NFC title winner who come out of the NFC.
In
that
the
is why
finals, right.
it have no finals in the NFL.
The Super Bowl, sorry.
In Jesus' name. So the Patriots actually looking, Brady actually looking kind of good.
So my question for you is, who are you supporting, the Patriots or Tom Brady?
That's a real good question.
Because I know, Gronk, he with Brady.
Why are you saying Gronk like you
Well,
know this
of
man?
course, Gronk.
You with who?
He with Brady now.
You
So,
with Tampa Bay.
right. So that's why I said, and those were 2 of your favorite players. So who are you
No,
supporting?
my side is the Patriots.
Right.
And Brady was my guy and Gronk was my guy. But when you leave my team, it's over. I want to see you lose.
No, but I find you're very invested
I find
in
so too, to be honest.
in how Brady doing.
Listen, to be honest with you, I was really finding myself looking forward to that Buccaneers game because I kind of want to see them lose. But I think a part of it for me is nostalgia. Like, I just want to see Brady too. But I want to see him look bad and lost.
Well,
to be
what
honest.
I want is the Buccaneers and the Patriots to meet up.
The Buccaneers and the Patriots.
Because they're from the same division.
No, I think they're in 2 different divisions. The Buccaneers is in the NFC and the Patriots is in the AFC.
Right, so
but
that is
the
what-
way the Patriots playing, we ain't seeing the Buccaneers in no Super Bowl. The only way we could meet up now is in the Super Bowl. If I'm not mistaken, they're not on the schedule to play one another in
At all. Okay.
So if Patriots reach the Super Bowl, that would be a miracle. But Brady go throw the Patriots, man. It's in him. And Gronk go run the wrong way and all these things. So if that happen, we have it won. But Brady and them actually look good. And I thought that Brady and Gronk, knowing that they play together for so much years, I tell myself they're going to be the ones who going to spark that Buccaneers team. But strange enough, Brady ended up finding a next receiver. Now, that's a problem for the whole NFL. Brady find a dude named Evans. And anywhere on the field he is, he finding him. That's how we used to play with Gronkowski, with Edelman, with Welker. People was watching Patriots for a long time will know that. So when he lock into a receiver and they click it, is a problem. And I think it's a matter of time before he click with Gronk too. Because they just had a history. Gronk looking a little slow. Gronk ain't looking like himself yet, but he will find himself. So them going to be a problem.
What is the, if you had to say an age for retirement for the NFL players?
The age,
Like
is
around
Brady
the average.
surely passed it. Brady's about 75 years old. But it depends on what position you play into.
Okay.
And the bigger guys you call linemen, they're not going to have a 40-year-old. They
Yes.
can't make it.
So like a receiver and a...
Receivers tricky too. Receivers could play a little longer. The ones who might stay the longest in the game might be quarterbacks and receivers.
Receivers, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, you could protect them a little more. Like the rules is protect the quarterback. You can't hit them too hard and them kind of things. And you could keep the receiver running routes where you call like on the outside, like close to the edge of the field on the outside. So they're not likely to get hit very hard.
So Brady and Gronkowski in it until they are 50, basically.
Brady, not Gronkowski. Gronkowski, yeah, young fella, he's only early 30s. He might be your age.
Oh, he could have fooled me.
Yeah, well, this feels big and them feels like giants, but Brady is in his 40s. But Gronk is now maybe early 30s. Now we can come in out for sports. I don't know, all this she getting my signal to done with the sports talk, but we have plenty of things to talk about sports. So fast forward to the Cowboys and Atlanta. For anybody who was watching that game, that's one of the best games I ever see. Because Atlanta was winning big and they let the Cowboys come back to 39-37. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Cowboys won.
No, Atlanta was on 39, Cowboys was on 37.
Okay.
But it was getting a blowout. And then they try an onside kick. You know what's an onside kick?
You kick on the side.
Right, that's exactly what you do. He kick on the side. That was kind of impressive. That's not what an onside kick is, but that's actually what he do. He do an onside kick and kick the ball on the side. And it roll. You'd have to roll for 10 yards before they could pick it up and claim it as theirs, right? And I don't know, Falcons players was just watching the ball roll. They could have dropped on it at any time. And make a long story short, Atlanta give up their lead.
I just want to let you know that all the women sign off.
I don't care.
All right.
And I bring you here. It's your responsibility to keep the women listeners.
Well, that may be great. That may be great.
We could stop this. I feel we should delete everything we have here. But the Atlanta remind me of the time we play Atlanta in the Super Bowl. You don't remember that? Me and Colonel was watching that up in the Trotters. And Atlanta was looking like they was winning. You remember that game?
No.
Atlanta was a big, Patriots was a mess. We couldn't score at all. Defense had we luck. And in the fourth quarter, everything just started coming together. Edelman make a miracle catch. The same kind of catches beat us all the time.
Yes.
And we come back and beat them, and I was real happy because all them wagoners in the Trotters who come in the Falcons jersey and thing, they had to go home sad with the tail between the legs.
Well, all right.
All right. So Atlanta. No, I had to talk about Mahomes first, babe. Quick. Do you see that little Mahomes youth? He's a problem. He in the AFC. This is why
That's his name, Mahomes. I thought you meant like Mahomie. I was waiting to hear, well, who is your homie? Mahomes.
I don't want to do this no more. I feel to delete all the episodes I ever do.
When you say Mahomes, I was like, well, who is your homie? Sorry. Go ahead. I didn't realize that was somebody's name.
Young Mahomes, who's coincidentally the current Super Bowl winning quarterback, who maybe you should know, because he has the Super Bowl now. He in the AFC too. That's why I'm saying Patriots probably. I'm not seeing how we beaten
Who
them.
he plays with?
Kansas City.
Okay.
What's the name of that team?
Kansas City. I'll get it just now.
All right, cool. So they had a real good game too against LA Chargers. And Mahomes, it was looking like they was going to get beat for most of the game. It was a tight game, but it was looking like they were going to come out on top. But the only reason I'm talking about this game is because that kicker is an impressive dude. That kickers is not a big thing in football. It's funny enough, the name is football and the kicker is kind of like a forgotten guy. But that man had to make a long kick 3 times. The first time he tried to make it, this is to win the game. So you know the pressure already, and it's an empty stadium. But when he kicked it, they had a penalty. Now they had to go back 5 yards, which makes it even harder to hit. And then when he kicked it again, the next team called up a timeout just before it gets called icing the kicker. You have to remember these terms, no? Because when you come here, we talking about sports. You remember icing the kicker?
Yes.
Is when they call a timeout just before the kicker go and kick.
Mm-hmm. And I used to kind of throw him off a little bit.
That's the idea. If he hits it there and they start to celebrate, they didn't realize a timeout call again to break his concentration. It worked a few times. They also had a few times that they called the timeout and the kicker miss, which would have been great. And then he come back and hit it. So it's a gamble to take. And then the third time, that man hit that field goal all 3 times. So salute to them.
Kansas City Chiefs?
Hey, baby, just Google that.
Oh, where?
You
I didn't Google it.
Baby, people can't see, so I could say what I want. You Google it. The Falcons was not the only people to lose big in Atlanta this weekend. Cardi B and Offset. You follow that?
Briefly. Briefly, yeah.
Briefly, just like the sports.
Just whatever popped up on social media. I didn't really dig into it too deeply.
I'd ask you like this sports, you know who's Cardi B?
I know who's Cardi B.
Give me that 2 Cardi B bars, some bars from Cardi B song.
No, I don't know Cardi B that well.
You know Offset?
No Offset. I know of Offset.
Give me some bars.
What, they sing anything? They don't sing anything.
Right.
They just mumble.
See the hatefulness? The hate is coming out. So Cardi B and Offset say they're done, right? Now, the first thing they were saying, this is not the first time 2 of them done. I remember him being on the Breakfast Club, basically. Now, the Breakfast Club is, as much as it's got scandal and things, it's 2 married men on Breakfast Club. Charlamagne married, Envy married a long time and thing. So I think it was like damage control, him going there. Because he was from Migos, right?
Right.
And they have a reputation for doing real boring interviews. You know, some people just not talk.
They don't like to speak at all.
Yeah, it's an odd kind of thing. I don't understand it. Like, what's the main guy name again? Quavo. He was a little more talkative. But Takeoff and Offset used to be there and just like, yeah, that's cap. They never used to really say nothing. So I see him go by himself now on Breakfast Club and really just trying to clean up what happened in both of them relationships. Some kind of woman thing again. And they was breaking up, but they end up fixing up themselves.
Right.
I can't remember if the child was born before or after that.
You know a lot.
Yeah, we following these things. Quarantine, COVID. I'm following it since them times. So Cardi B now, surprisingly, I didn't know nothing about this, and I be following them things. She just say they're done. And not just done. She filed for divorce in Atlanta.
Well, she said nothing major happened. She said, she just was tired of the arguing and all of that. So
I'm tired of the arguing.
Ooh. So that's a message you're sending me there.
So Cardi B said she just fed up. But fed up and filed for divorce. I think it's too hold. Like plenty had to happen, I feel, between the time you realize you're fed up and when you file for divorce.
Yeah, but you saying that based on a regular relationship.
But you don't think like...
I don't think you could classify their relationships. So you would classify Cardi B and Offset like me and you? I don't think you could do that.
Yeah, well, they're on a different kind of level.
You're right. You have to probably take into consideration that they're not seeing each other all the time.
Nobody think about it is with the COVID. They had to see each other all the time.
That's
like
true.
20 relationships now.
That's true.
You go find out.
So probably that was working for them. The distance and the separation, and probably now. Okay, I didn't think about it that way.
You see it better at the rap. Separateness.
Ooh.
But yeah, it's like sometimes the road life and the seeing each other every now and again and the staff and all that kind of thing could I don't know if to say is mask problems or like you say is probably that is the better way for it to work out overall.
Yeah.
Like you have a better relationship that way.
So that when you finally see each other, it's like...
Yeah, I guess, especially for them.
But when you're in lockdown for months,
see this woman right through.
And then they probably never had to be around each other so long. I don't know. We assuming, we speculating.
Yeah, we all assuming that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
But I think it's true. Like, all right, so if you're on tour and you're coming home and thing, it's not just like it's not just like missing one another, then we get together. Remember, it's plenty buffers between me and you. I have a manager who organizing this and my road team and all those types of things. I suppose when you're locked down for so long, a lot of those people, what they're coming around to do is just you and your wife in your house now and your home staff, I suppose.
And then you remember too, what the old people used to say, see man come live with me.
It's two different things. That's one thing about celebrity relationships I always wonder about. Like, it's not like you're really living together. They are 2 mega stars. So they're on the road all the time. So it come like they have a kind of visiting relationship.
And well, in that case, I guess the absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Sometimes the absences make the thing stable. Yes, I can't stay around you for too long. I'll me just stay around you for the weekend. You know, they must be looking forward
to the weekend.
What? Yeah, to go on tour and thing?
Yeah. Well, no, I was looking forward to seeing each other.
I was thinking the opposite. And I see I looking to get out. Yes, them it's like, no shows, no appearances, no club, no nothing.
Nah, so the bottom line you're saying is COVID mashed them up.
I don't know because what I find strange is like, I follow between Joe Budden podcast, the Breakfast Club, watching Star Reports, all them things.
You know a lot about these entertainers.
I don't know how come that happened to be the case. It's not like I follow all of them so much. It's just because I do so much of the podcast and the media and those things that I just hear these stories all the time and stay on top of it. So it kind of came out of nowhere. Even the announcers like on Breakfast Club and thing, they were singing surprised. Everybody was like, all of a sudden Cardi B filed for divorce.
I honestly wasn't that surprised because They were one couple. I felt as though everything was for publicity. I don't know. It never struck me as being a sincere, relationship between the both of them. So it didn't shock me at all. I was like, all right, I guess or probably some new album coming out or something. So I don't know.
Well, she have an album coming out, eh?
Well, look at that.
She have an album coming out soon. So the thing is, like that, I always wonder about that too, like how genuine celebrity relationships are. But like you saying, you find it wasn't genuine, but I find they were one of the more
genuine. What?
I find so, because like, no, I mean the gifts shouldn't be the thing you judge it by, right? But I think she had buy him a Bentley and he buy her a thing, and then she gave him like,
yeah, well, that is the equivalent of you buying me a handbag.
Yeah, but when I buy you a handbag,
no, well, what I'm saying in their world.
No, that's true. So it's like me buying you an expensive gift, because even to them a Bentley will be an expensive gift, and the kind of jewelry they buying and stuff. But I not buying no expensive gift for no woman if me and the woman in rally, and I suppose them could buy a couple Bentleys in their lifetime.
Yeah, and they're cool with that. But for me is all these celebrity relationships, I take it with a pinch of salt. Because number one, I always feel as though it's some type of publicity stunt or something. I mean, people looking for likes and doing it for Instagram and all this kind of thing.
I always used to think so, right? And I still think like that. Like I wonder about celebrity relationships and where it's going. But where is always catch me is when they have a child. Like, how does it work? You know what was one like that? Rob Kardashian and Black China.
But that was clearly an arrangement, Corey.
But why make a child if it's an arrangement? How the child coming in?
What do you mean? And I have a cash cow there?
No, all right. So if you're making an arrangement, I think it is me and you making a... So somewhere in the arrangement, he gets stick is what you're saying?
Well...
But Cardi B another stick, nobody would know she's a different one. She don't need... At the time, she get with Offset.
You think that baby was planned?
With them?
Yeah.
Babies is be planned, Zachary's plan.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. So, yeah, with Offset, you making money, Offset making money. A baby come, well, that is our next thing. Now we have more people invested because now everybody want to see this child.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it's just, I'm not saying that, that they went. I don't think they intentionally had a baby for that. But who knows?
No, that's what I'm thinking. I think that had to be the place they draw the line. Like, I could see why you would do arranged like relationships for the look,
right,
and for publicity and for more following and them things. But I can't figure out why somebody would bring a child into the world and a woman sacrificing, making that kind of... I could see why Black China do it.
Yeah, because this is 2020 and you think a lot of those people don't have the same values that you have.
Oh my God.
Or that I have. And you know what? If they pay me enough, I would care, but they're not paying me enough to care, so...
Oh, I thought they were going to say if you pay enough, you can make the child. Yes, I know going to say we're making a sweet deal.
No.
Babe, I am for that. I telling you, no. I make pains on record. If you get a check and you make a celebrity baby.
But who are making the celebrity baby?
I don't care. It could be Blueface, one of these new youths. Let these youths come, yes, and make a little celebrity like Zachary. You know how happy Zachary will be if he get a rapper stepfather-in-law. What
just
you call that?
Sell out myself.
Sell out your damn self, man. It's a hard life in these COVID times. Who, if you had to say a favorite celebrity relationship, you had one?
No.
It had no celebrity relationship you follow?
Oh, yes. I lie. I can't say that Boris Kodjoe and Nicole Harry Parker. I like them.
Who are these people?
Well, you see, well, if you had no, not Young and Restless.
Oh, no, Boris Kodjoe, that's bald dude?
Yes.
Redskin fella, but like, you feel it? Like, it's not a relationship. Yes.
I like them as a couple and I like them as a family. They have, at least what they present.
They have children?
2.
But they're together, they're not divorced.
Yeah, they're together. But then again, a lot of people had like Jada and Will and look.
But they're together, they ain't done.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, I try my best not to get heavily invested in these celebrities.
What you call it heavily invested? It's just Mako? It's just Yaden?
Because like when people talking about it too much, I was like, these people not paying me to care enough about them.
Nah, that's what celebrity life is.
Nah.
What about your favorite local celebrity?
Couple?
Yeah.
I have to think about that.
Bubbles and Escato. Maybe so. Bubbles and Escato is what
they're still together.
Maybe so. Bubbles and Escato wasn't your thing.
No, not at all. I like Escato.
No, the thing about it, like going back to Cardi B, what I like about the whole thing, I mean, them things kind of sad to see, even though you don't know the people. I thought they would have worked out. I thought they was the real McCoy. You looking like if you.
I really didn't care.
Yeah, I had care. I find it was going good. But what I like is that she, with the rumors about the baby and all them types of things, he looking like he going mad. He real posting on Instagram. He never used to post nothing. And every day is 2-3 things about keep striving, all kind
You're
of different
really
random
following
things.
this thing.
Yeah, I on it. But what I like about her is how she come out and it's not like you're defending him. But you could see she trying to defend her family because now all they had to co-parent or whatever is the deal.
Yeah.
Like I just see Sin Santana and Joe Budden go through that same thing too, where she had to kind of come out and defend him with a public scandal kind of thing. I like to see them kind of things with defending your family.
Right.
I just pointed out all there to you, right? Defending your family.
Well, I'm confused. Why are we talking
be
about
confused.
this? I have something to defend?
Yes. So, defending family. You know Uday Rameshan?
That's
My public beach girl?
that is the father?
That is the father.
Right.
I was following that story. I think I talked about it in the podcast last week about that girl and her.
Listen, you call a man name there, and I just remembering what he posted and the headache coming back because I couldn't even read.
It was rough.
It was, yeah, boy, I couldn't read beyond a certain point. It was terrible.
It was rough. And we're going to read it.
Nah, babe.
Yeah.
Can't read that.
We're going to
And then,
read
like, you get
that.
somebody to come and clean up after.
No, well, the nice thing about the internet is written in ink. You could delete them thing how much ever you want.
Get somebody
But you
to
can't
come
do
and clean up.
But what I like about him too, and that's how my mother is. No matter what, my mother is defend me. No, now it's you. I think you spoil the whole party, but she's a woman is defend me. That's why I find your parent, if family should defend family. Even if you're in the wrong, I like that Odai come out and say, to hell with that, he cuss out the else. He say, if you and your family, I find you
but
went a little
I
far.
think people respect you more.
Mm.
If your family talking nonsense and you come out and say, hey, they're talking nonsense, I don't support
No,
this.
but when you're defending your family, you don't care who you respect, is your family. When you ever, remember they had a video online where a girl played a prank one time and she was pretending she was on the phone arguing with somebody. Remember that? And the mother was there. She on the phone and she's like, yeah, well, pull up if you want. And the mother say, who pulling up? Pull up. The mother didn't hear who on the next line. You know? That's the kind of defend we talking about. Like how Seymour you go defend me. I ain't so sure Seymour defending you, so but she go and defend me. Like none can happen to me, Seymour and them rolling. No, so.
Right.
So how would I go not roll? And
Yeah, but if you're rolling and you're making a public post,
yeah.
get somebody to proofread it for you now.
Well, I think that our attorney should be much better at writing than this guy.
Well, I was wondering if he is a Trinidadian.
Yeah, Trini.
He's a Trini because I don't know if that was Spanish mixed up with, I'm not sure.
Boy, it was rough. He say, hi all my friends. The girl on the is my eldest daughter. I suppose he forget video. Hi all my friends. The girl on the is my eldest daughter. Last I posted is one word, like if Apple make it, is I posted my view of their law, and within minutes it was deleted.
Baby, you want to put the listeners through this?
Firstly, at my studies at UWI Cave Hill campus in my LLB degree, I did the subject public international law and passed with a distinction, and the other subject called, it had no punctuation, that is why I sound like this, and the other subject called private international law, in which I passed, Apple again, with a B+. Why the hell he saying he passed with a B+? So
Higher than a C.
So I feel a space bar sticking on the I because no word with I have a separator. It has no space. So I is one word. Soy. Have some knowledge of the law and the law of the sea and what constitutes a public and private beach or private property.
I love the sea.
Do you all recall when the Sabgas, SABGHAS, owned Pigeon Point Beach with a J? You figure that out. And an intruder was shot and killed. Was anyone charged without a question mark? That is what is called defense of private property rights. And my boy put to be continued. Oh my God, this is too much.
I can't believe you just put people through that.
Yeah, they had to go through it. If we suffer, they had to suffer. It even hard to look at with no spaces, it didn't have a full stop or a capital letter nowhere. But when the capital letters come in, hard. Here with the capital letters say, F you and your family.
Oh gosh.
And be prepared for a fight you have never experienced before. All one word. I shall beg no quarters and seek no favors. One of us shall be decimated, emaciated, and pulverized. And I am sure it will not be me. Ex abundanti quartella. We have to ask Amanda what I mean. I do not mean any violence whatsoever. Maybe you see how this man's spell whatsoever. But the pursuit of justice by the might, wealth, and the power of my family.
Worry.
Wait. Ma'am, help me here. And the power of my family. The word is EHICHH. What is that?
EH.
ICHH. I shall adumbrate.
Babe, move on.
Hereafter, when I resume this comment, he resume the commentary too. But my guy defend his daughter. Now, I was saying on Facebook to some people that, listen, I know what it takes. You know what it takes to get a degree?
Yeah, I know what it takes.
Yeah. I know what it takes to get a degree.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how you could write. Now, Facebook writing and academic writing and writing in an exam is a different thing. And you could see he was damn vexed too. Eh? So the man rage typing, according to Zachary. But I don't see myself putting out a statement in public. Like you say you proofread your post and thing?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. It's just habit. I don't like to see bad grammar.
So you just try to make sure it thing. Now you're a teacher too, so it would matter.
I mean, if you're talking in a little slang and thing, no problem.
Right.
If you're trying to make a point like this.
Yeah, if you're putting out a statement.
Try and at least people who might be interested in your side could read it properly. I started reading after the first 2 lines. I couldn't read anymore.
So you wanted to hear the man's side.
Let me hear what you're saying. I want to hear what you're saying.
No, the thing was, I a little bit like that. I remember I was telling you in an earlier episode and we was discussing that too, that I don't, I try my best not to pay too much attention to how somebody says something.
Right.
But more, is either the message
You're
useful
trying to
me?
get the message. But for me, sometimes the message is lost along the way if I have to try to figure out too much of what you say. And sometimes I don't even want to continue, so you lose me.
That's the absolute truth. And I was right with that in mind, because as much as I say what I try to do when people talking, I know that not everybody would do that. And the way I say something is matter. So like if I point out something that's serious, I just start to study my job.
Right.
And I just lecture. And all these guys are conscious of what I'm writing out there because of the same thing. Because if especially when it's a controversial topic.
Exactly.
When the topic controversial, anything could go viral and a whole lot of people see it. And Trinidad have a way they say, big lecturer like he doing this and that. And you see that? I just try to avoid them kind of things.
No, but it have a difference between kicks and serious
I think
issues.
people know that too.
Yeah.
So like if you're talking in local parlance, which I find should be in any dictionary, we should make our own dictionary. I don't believe in this English thing too much. But when you're grammar all over the place, and I start to study, well, how he passing exams. I don't know how he really getting through it.
No, but with this especially, you want somebody to take you seriously as an attorney.
Yeah.
You can't present this.
Not just that, and you're talking to the Minister of Health, like he lost all respect and went wild. Now, the thing that's funny about it, just like everything else in Trinidad, a few days later, he come out and apologize.
Yes, but the apology was well written. So it begs the question, did he write the apology?
No, it writes with the apology. I want to ask you a question. Did he write his exams? Because our partner, my name Anthony, make a good point. He says sometimes you might find somebody who can't write and can't articulate themselves well, but they're genius level in the subject matter.
They have that too.
That's true. And I had to tell him, I say, boy, you have a good point there. Because I have seen, like in correcting papers and things, I see students hand up some things before. And their logic and their reasoning is above average, but the grammar really very, very poor. But the thing about it is this. How you're reaching master's level with that, I don't know. But at bachelor's level, if I see something like that, I will pull you one side. Because sometimes is a issue like I remember a lecturer once in Lockjack. That man write down a word on the board and mix up about 3 or 4. The word spell all the letters correct in the word. But about 2 or 3 backward, and about 2 mix up. So I think there's some types of dyslexia that cause those things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I don't want to say funny, but it was funny. I laugh in my mind. He write that. And when I see it, I say, what? The first thing I think is this man dyslexic. And you know what he do? He step back from the board, watch the word good, and then shake his head and continue writing. I say, well, all right. He know it bad. He have it soak it. So the thing about it is, I was thinking that it could be things like this with this guy, but not seeming like that.
No, I don't think it's that at all.
Yeah, and me, no expert at that. I can't diagnose nobody, but it was all over the place. But again, my guy apologized and everything, and I don't know what
he did not apologize. Somebody apologized on his behalf. Because you think that apology is truly how he felt? No, I don't believe that.
Well, you know me, when you as a man, I quick to what
as
you
with
say.
Everybody else who apologizing lately, this is just to save face.
I already understand that, but when people apologize, I just eat up that. I don't really dig too deep into it because it's like you were saying about Cardi B and Offset. I don't know if I care enough.
Yeah, I don't care enough.
If you apologize, maybe that's the right thing you should do.
These people believe they have a beach. Listen. They had different kind of problems to me and you know.
And you know what was bad about it, I think, in the way he writes it, and not just his writing, it was just disrespectful to the Minister of Health, which unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
But I think underlying, he had a real good point because first, Gary came out and say,
"You going back again?"
I'm going back to Gary. Because Gary come out and say, this is a thing and the Bayside thing and we cannot. You remember he was ducking the issue as far as I can see.
We know what time it is with that already. So
then when the public pressure come on now, all of a sudden, a team is there with a warrant for the girl to search her property. Now, if you break the quarantine, let me assume...
This is after they take 2 years to find her.
Good.
Right.
So do you break the quarantine is the criminal offense or whatever you're supposed to call it. That is the offense, as the police like to say, right?
Right.
How that come to you now searching the person's property and taking their laptop and their phone? I'm not understanding.
Listen, that is...
overcompensation?
Yeah. They had to make something look like something, you know. But people bored.
Yeah, I guess that's all... including Gary.
Yeah, they had to make something look like something. So let us look like if we ruffle the feathers a little bit. Right. And that might pacify some people.
Yeah. So do you feel it's the article that's saying that more than what was actually done?
Yeah, man. They went there and had a few sips.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, again, they can't pay me enough to care.
Me ain't get them wrong. But the thing about it is, they're not going to have no lie down and no, what do you call it?
Yeah,
sorry,
no
Gary.
Face down.
Yeah,
no face down. No,
that's
not happening.
And my philosophy again is that I don't, you know, I saw a lot of people saying, why did they put them to lie down and then by the Bayside? And I don't agree with that. What I feel is they should stop putting Cyril, poor people children, on the ground to lie down to embarrass them, because he was quick to say that those guys by sea lots, we let them off and nobody talking about that. But if you let them off, why you have to embarrass them and make them lie down and apologize to you like you some kind of
you know
Lord?
How I feel about that issue. You know how I feel about Cyril children.
How you feel about that? We need to know.
You know how I feel. That is a kind of... I don't know how to say it without sounding...
You find they should put them to lie down?
No, not that they should put them to lie down, but Cyril children have a tendency... I cuss on this thing? I want to say there's ass out the self all the time. That's Cyril children all the time.
But you can't say that about everybody.
No, all right. Not all Cyril children.
But stop saying Cyril children. When you say it once or twice and get away, you could stop now.
Oh,
but I understand what I mean. Yeah, like anybody in any walk of life, people is misbehave.
Right.
It have no walk of life where everybody is behave well. It don't matter if is the poorest or the richest.
No, but we've seen that now because the owner of the beach, she make a fool of herself as well.
That has happened.
Right?
So my thing about it is this. Let's assume, forget everything else about how she talking and where she from and her skin color and her race and everything. If I don't know any of the facts about her story,
right,
my thing would be to the police, go and talk to her and tell her stop doing it. No lock up, no lie down, no embarrassment, no slap, no too wicked and no whole police force going up there and thing. Talk to her and tell her cool it. So I think the issues come when people at different tiers or different levels of society or skin colors or races or ages.
We know that. And not in Trinidad alone.
No. That is a global thing. And police have an issue with that. But lawyer guy, I don't know how you pass my exams. Because if you write a paper like that and submit to me, I gonna send that back. And if you're really genius level, I'll probably go and sit down with you and try to help you figure out to sort out your grammar, because I know that your writing style and your communication style going to keep you back when you going to be an asset to this area of study.
Yeah, but lawyer guy going and see Heaven's Gate. Oh, hell, you never know.
Oh my God.
Just now. So we don't have to worry about lawyer guy.
So you just writing off the man to death? Okay, next topic. Let's move on.
Yeah, we don't.
Let's
As
move
I
on
tell
to
you, it's
somebody.
not worth my time. Lawyer guy and
Babe,
them.
so far nothing in this podcast worth your time. Man.
Lawyer guy. Well, then you should have structured this board a little better if you want to bring me on here.
I should have not because like nothing worth your time. But let me move on to somebody who could write.
Who is this?
This is a guy by the name of Ivor Archie,
All right.
who on Monday of this week, 21st of September, he write the single greatest email I ever seen. This is his letter, right? I'm going to go through. You see this letter here?
No, I didn't see it as yet.
All right, good. So here we say, right? Now, to get the backstory, is him and another judge, basically. He's the Chief Justice, another judge, taking him to task, basically, for how he using his writing in his personal capacity, or putting out an ad or a newspaper clip in his personal capacity, and seem to bias. He and the Law Association don't get along
At all.
They want to get rid of him. Mm-hmm. And they have a lot of judges who fighting against him and want him out for all kind of reasons. And he seemed to be that guy you can't get rid of at all. He's Gary Griffith. You can't move him. You know what I mean? So it comes ahead, and my guy Frank, who is the judge who tried to get rid of him, basically put out a release saying, I distance myself from what you saying and all this kind of thing. So here what my guy say. My dear Frank, I find it disrespectful out the gate.
My dear Frank.
Now, don't start me so with my dear Frank. But you say, yet again, you appear to believe that your independence extends to administration. It does not. When and if you hold the position of Chief Justice, you will have administrative responsibility. At this time, you do not.
Put him in his place there one time.
I find it a little disrespectful all the time. And I grow yawningly weary. Now, I had to Google
gosh.
yawningly,
Yeah, but you don't have to Google that.
I had to do with yawning. He bored
Board.
of your insistence and on attempts to challenge the Chief Justice and his administration at every step.
He
man,
fed up
referring
with
to
them. He
himself
fed
in
up
third
with them.
person.
He fed up.
You cannot determine when and where I meet with judges, nor can you determine how and where the staff of the judiciary must work. You are not in your private sector chambers. You work in a state-funded and regulated organization that has rules, policies, procedures, and norms to which you are expected to adhere. You advise that you are not at liberty to determine locations and manner of which the judiciary computer systems will connect. When limited in-person hearings were permitted, in your insatiable desire to defy, you put the lives of members of the public and staff at risk and ran our staff ragged as you refused to adhere to the protocol set. I consider your actions then and your correspondence now to be highly irresponsible. I think he's referring to his Frank's efforts to meet in person and keep people working instead of having them work from home and thing. He's saying it's COVID time. So he goes on to say, in this world is in the throes of a pandemic. We are all quite fed up. You no more than me. But I take my responsibility for the safety of the staff and the public, as well as my responsibility for the administration of this organization seriously. In administering this organization, I do not have the luxury of taking only myself and my personal success into consideration. I must take into account all persons and all systems together which comprise the judiciary or which are required for the judiciary to run. This is where our knowledge and our interests diverge. Now, this is the paragraph that gave me anything. Mm-hmm. He said, it is not lost on me that you tend to be firmly assured by your sure, unshakable belief that your assessments are always correct, that you are endowed with all knowledge of all things and possess all the answers to all the issues in the judiciary, the country, and perhaps the world and overhang firmament.
So basically, calling Frank a know-it-all.
No, but listen, here we spell overhang. O''H''H''A''N''G''I''N''G. So overhanging.
Shakespeare.
Yeah, no, he ain't for no V, could put apostrophe there.
Shakespeare.
But he basically telling them, yeah, you feel you know everything. And listen, that is a piece of destruction that I've never seen anything like that. It went on for a long time.
I found it to be well written.
Listen, he destroyed the guy in many, many ways.
It was well written. And you got the gist.
No, so I want to know if the CJ do the same exams that Odai do.
Well, clearly not.
I want to know if the CJ and Odai, because I had to go back and see if the CJ went KFL or if he went down here where he went. That Odai didn't go because something wrong with the way this man.
Odai went where Saul went.
What?
He went where Saul went.
Who's Saul?
Saul Goodman.
Yep. While I am quite used to you opting to write me as Chief Justice and copying same to all judges, and your letters mysteriously being reproduced in the newspaper, I note that you have surpassed even your normal level of disrespect by copying the administrative officer of the Law Association and a single attorney, presumably who either represents you or one of the parties in the matter before you. It's so easy to read.
Mm-hmm.
And he doing the same thing because what Odai was trying to tell Dialsing is what the CJ trying to tell Frank.
Well, not trying to tell Frank.
We tell him.
CJ told Frank.
Oh, man. Well, I can't wait to see Frank's response. I want to see if Frank right back looking more like Odai or looking more like the CJ.
I don't think he went on top that, though.
This is going to be hard to top,
I
boy.
think Frank.
This is going to be hard to top, boy. So I feel going forward in this, I was always trying to figure out like what I should do to open and close the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have it here. So I think every podcast I'm going to just open with one of these paragraphs and close with one of these paragraphs.
Please do not bore the people to death.
I don't care.
Please.
Because that might be your opinion, but it is not lost on me that you tend to be firmly assured by your sure and unshakable belief that all your assessments about this podcast are correct. And that you are endowed with knowledge of all things podcast and all the answers to all the issues.
Yeah, hi, everyone's EP or not?
You feel the country and perhaps the whole world and all hanging firmament. I had Google firmament. Firmament is Bible thing. You know? Maybe I should move on before the place starts sparking up. So, one thing I'm learning about this week and communication, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that, like, again, my philosophy, forget how people tell you things. If you could figure out how to not pay attention to how they're telling you, you'll get some good messages in this life, right?
Oh, no.
Oh, you not on that.
What message you got from Udai?
I get Udai message if you the thing. That was the crux of what Udai was talking about. But communication, I always feel like it's better to try to, when you're talking to a child, you have to talk in language that's easier for them. You can imagine Zachary reading. Zachary didn't go find that letter from the CJ funny. So when you're communicating, you have to try to talk in the language of the person who listening.
Yeah, make it suitable.
That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to tell everybody who trying to explain this Sou Sou to people and why they shouldn't join that it have no suitable language. There's no suitable language to help people understand why they shouldn't join this Sou Sou.
Listen.
You join?
Join what?
You get offers?
I get real offers.
And you train a football and let me spend a... Bring that 10,000.
That is not for me, Corey. That is not for me. And not just the whole Sou Sou thing. I don't like to lose money.
Yeah.
Not lying to tell you, I play the play thing once. And it's because everybody at that time, when the circle I was in had the mark. Everybody was sure they had the mark.
Yeah, what was the mark?
I can't remember what it was. Whatever the mark was.
Jam it.
Whatever the mark was, I played for $5.
And you win big.
Listen, nothing never hurt me. So. Better I had take that $5 and buy a water.
But you so low.
I feel better.
Look how much a $5
no,
it
could have been 25 cents, but to lose my money like that, and not in that. So I don't think anybody could come. You could present whatever to me. I don't think that this would appeal to me at all.
No, but the thing is, you could lose your money anyway, any investment.
Yes, you could lose your money anyway. It's a chance you're taking.
Any investment is a chance.
But I don't know. It's not for me.
People had the money in Clico, they can't get back the money. Hindu Credit Union was, when you hear the word credit union and thing, it turned out to be something different than that. But you think your money's safe. When I remember when Unit Trust just came out, I should ask Mommy about this because there was another company back in the day that was doing the same unit type thing that crashed.
Okay.
And a lot of people lose their money. So anywhere you put your money, you could lose it. Now, they have some that's safer than others. Because when you put your money in the bank, you're probably going to get back your money.
Right.
In an insurance company, they will probably pay the claim, unless you would BNL or Capital or one of them people. But more than likely, you'll find that a safe, long, older institution where it have you could see exactly what they're doing with the money. Your money safe, relatively.
Relatively safe.
But boy, the Sou Sou is a special one. Like Daddy used to tell me a story, right? Daddy used to say when he was working, he used to work True Value at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And he said one of the guys was arguing True Value. Now let me ask you, which one more important to you? Wants or needs?
Well, the needs.
The needs, right?
Yeah.
Song obvious, right?
Yeah.
So Daddy said this fella he talking to, he trying to explain to him that needs more important than wants, because if you don't have your needs, you will die, right?
Right.
So he telling the fella, and the fella said, nah, wants more important than needs. Daddy said he tried to explain to him about 3-4 times. And he said, let me tell you something. He say, you see when you want something, when you want it, you had to have it. When you need it, you just need it. That's when I realized, when I hear that story, I don't listen to not my father tell me growing up. But when he tell me that story, you know what I take from that? It didn't make sense arguing with somebody.
Okay.
Because
like I confused.
that thing, when you see the way that man start to shake when he say want, he need that. So you could argue with him for however long. And in that same grocery, I live to see something similar to that. You know, a fella, I going to buy something. And the cashier keep watching me. And then she say, Mr. Kobe. And I say, yeah. Now the fella who packing the bag now, like he catch up late. When I reach by, he say, oh, you are Mr. Kobe's father. I say, nah, try that again. I say, come again. You're close, but come again. Him. No, you have to be his father the way you all resemble. I say, you think I'm his father? He say, you are his father for sure. Me, know what was going on with him. Like he was tired. I guess he wanted to say that I'm a father, but again, it has some people you don't argue with. And you see people who join in Sou Sou. I see in people who sending out whole prospectus, a thing about how to join, and this is the thing, and you have contract to sign and all kind of thing. And then in WhatsApp groups, other people going crazy, trying to tell them, well, if 2 people join, 8 people have to pay them, and then it's 640 people, then it's 6 million.
The people who benefiting, working out for them, and have...
But there's a thing, so all these people who trying to, there's the best advisors it have. Like when you listen to the radio, you know, everybody calling in to tell people how this going in bloodshed and this. Don't tell them people nothing.
No, I think once you make up your mind that you...
Well, you saw the video from they say a soldier man in La Hockey.
Right, so like that's the person to go by if you want to be successful.
Yeah, he know how to make it work.
Yeah, he know, like apparently he have a different formula.
Yeah.
Because apparently his own working. So if you want to join the Sou Sou, go by this.
The formula is that he's a soldier and where you go do him? You can't do him nothing when the thing crash.
Well, like it didn't crash by him at all.
But here I like, no, I post a video where people waiting 2:30 in the morning.
Right.
This man opened 7 o'clock, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea with any pyramid scheme is if you're getting early, you could make good money.
Yeah, you could make
so everybody don't know that already. Mm-hmm. So everybody lining up from 2 o'clock to see if them could get a name in first. And like you say, everybody's saying he paying. But the nice thing I like about this Sou Sou is people who lost money in other Sou Sou either starting a Sou Sou or trying to join one early.
So they can make back.
You have to defend your money.
Yeah,
you see,
it's like a defendant.
There's the thing with the playway. You see that difference between me and you. If I lost $5 in playway, you know what I'm going to do?
I'll listen.
I'm going to pick 10. I had to get back my $5. I hurting just like you, and I don't like to lose money. But when you take my $5, I come in and put $10 on that mark tomorrow.
Yeah, who you think losing out there?
I go in and win eventually.
You or them?
Them going to lose out because I'm coming back. Right. And that's why I should have do the week when I tell people play 14, look how much time I play. If I went and play the morning and come the evening, you're sick. Rather, you had to defend your money.
I wasn't built for that.
Listen.
No.
You had to defend your money. So people going and defend their money and they're jumping back in. I'll leaving people unnamed there, but somebody else tell me tonight they went and won. And as they reach in and thing, by the time they talk to the admin cry and the admin frightened, they don't know what to do and thing. So the admin give her back her money.
Right.
So she say, I'm going in our next one with the admin song in Stronger.
You see? Madness. That is not for me at all. I am supporting anybody who wants to join that. I support it. I give any moral support because you might be the one to get through. And if you get through, I happy for you.
No, if you get try looking for a slice, I trying to see how...
If you get try, happy for you. But I know what is for me, and that is not it.
Well, hopefully, like next, I'm going to start to call people. I'm going to start to let people call in and talk about their Sou Sou experience. Because I really want a good long list of people who collect.
Right.
So I could get tides. If I could get some kind of Sou Sou tides,
What you put it in to get that?
moral support. You just say it. I tell you, when the Sou Sou come out and I find out I know people who join, what I do one time is I call and lend a little support. I say, boy, I hope you get through. I ain't want you losing money and this and that.
How much you collect so far?
I ain't collect none, but I'm working on it. I tell you, next week I will start to make my calls.
Okay.
Well, I also call people and tell them any problems you having with any admin or any kind of them issues.
What? Call you?
I come in down. If we had a fighter admin, we had a fighter admin.
Sorry.
If we had a fighter soldier, we fighting a soldier.
Sorry.
This is nothing to me. But it's a bluff. Me ain't really going nowhere. But if you don't get your money and are bluffing, you go find out a bluffing then, right? But if you get your money, the bluffing will ever come in. But you go remember me when you collect your
Just tell me when you collect. That's all I'm interested in.
When you collect your 88,000, you go say, boy, one man right for me is Corey, no boy.
I'm gonna give him something.
Just slice him off at 25.
Yeah.
Something hefty, something you could do something with.
Just tell me when you collect. That is all I am interested in.
Let me tell you something, right?
Because
I
what's
will
yours?
never tell you.
What's yours?
I will never, you could rest assured, I will never tell you when I get money.
What's yours?
Sou Sou is paying cash, you know, there's no bank card or no credit card and thing, no? Anyway, on to the next thing. You joining Sou Sou or not?
No.
You're not trying nothing and no Sou Sou.
Negative.
If you're getting early, you're not willing to take a stab. Anyway, white chocolate.
Uh-huh.
You know him?
Who's that?
White chocolate. You following white chocolate?
That sounds like some type of stripper name.
Well, he almost a stripper. You're kind of close.
White chocolate.
So white chocolate is a British guy.
I know what that. Oh, that's the winer boy?
Winer boy.
Oh.
He almost was close. Stripping is the real McCoy. So white chocolate find himself on a Black Lives Matter show. Now, that's where things start to go awry one time, right? I don't know why white chocolate put himself on a BLM show. Now, the thing about black Americans different, because you see me, you know me good enough. I do not, you see all these millennials like a name for everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's who is cultural appropriation and who is this privilege.
Too
and
many labels.
I can't take all these other labels. And the thing about it, I'm funny about the topic of cultural appropriation too, because I think it's like me and we doing a podcast. I want as much people to listen to this as possible and be a part of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I wouldn't like for somebody who didn't put any work I put in to get this thing done like you to just show up on an episode and talk about let me be great and all this kind of thing. I find you appropriating the podcast a little bit. But generally, I don't see a white person like, okay, I enter Song Clash.
Right.
I don't see David Rodigan, a white Englishman who in Song Clash as appropriating the culture. I don't see Mighty Crown, who's Japanese guys, one of the baddest sounds they ever had, as appropriating the culture. Or locally here, remember Anton Gold Rush? He used to have a song named Mosiah Gold. I
was trying to figure out where you're going with this.
Anton had a song back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah, named Mosiah Goldstein. And he was bad. He wasn't Matt Miller bad, but he was bad. And the thing about, so we will say, because he white, he appropriating Trinidad Song Clash culture.
Yeah, but you remember, they will always have people, I don't want to say for and against, but they'll always have people on both sides of the fence. You can't please everybody.
No, that's true. But again, another Japanese, like a dancer named Junko. You remember?
I remember.
Yeah,
Junko.
how she, and I suppose the appropriation is coming with how you treat with the culture that you're coming into. Because I don't like the labels, but the idea of being privileged is a real thing.
Right.
We have privileges that we might look past. And the thing about life is, whatever privilege I have, I use.
Right.
So people like to say white privilege and things as if white people should just one day wake up and never use the advantages they have in life. I don't know that life is worked that way at all.
Yeah, but is your privilege being used to help others?
No, I use my privilege for myself and my
no,
family.
But I'm
you go get help.
Somewhere along the line, are you helping somebody? Or is your privilege damaging?
No, that is a good question because I don't know that my privilege helping anybody. I have a good amount of privilege. I always talk about this on this podcast. Everything I achieve in this life, I was very, very lucky. I'm not saying I didn't work hard and I didn't put in my time and thing, but I was lucky to get the outcome that I got. A little bit
of luck and everything.
Plenty. Mm-hmm. I put a lot down to luck. But I don't use and I try to act. I try to see more and more. Like I was telling you last week, Giselle kind of points out to me. Giselle I don't know if she make the term this middle class privilege in Trinidad.
Right.
It real. And there's private beach and things. You see them times with privilege and not having to lie down by a bayside pool and all these things. Those things very, very real. But I don't feel like I would deliberately use my privilege to damage anybody.
Right. So,
you know what I mean? But think about this. If they have five apples in a box and I privilege to 4, and there's 6 other people in the room, them disadvantaged, by default.
Right.
Because them could share that one apple. So it kind of is a tricky one for me because I welcome anybody in any culture. And it's because I could be called a culture vulture too. The amount of, I always tell you about this, how much time I spend in Hussein yard, beating Hussein, in Baptist thing, doing thing. Me and no religion
but
at all.
No point you were dancing Hussein or beating the Hussein drums.
So what did you just say? Did you just say dancing Hussein?
Dancing, wait, just
go on.
Right.
Go through, you're going good.
Right.
You're appropriating a lot of the people culture.
No, but at which point you went on a public platform
or private
and say, well, this is mine.
No, that's
or
the
I
thing,
invented this. At
man.
which point? That's the mistake he made.
Yeah. For sure.
That's the mistake he
for
made.
sure. And that's where it gets. And one of the things that I realize from like listening to these scenarios, more like just trying to understand why people so against the idea or what exactly is cultural appropriation. And it really comes down to that is the attitude towards it.
Yes, your attitude.
And feeling like if you start it, not respecting the history. Because I didn't understand that either. Like why people used to make this fuss. Like if I go into somebody else's culture, which I do all the time, we partake in everybody. You was just talking about Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
I ain't see there's not one black man there. He's the security. So that's nothing like my culture. The way they live is somewhere I've never been, and the whole story is foreign to me.
Right.
But I really like the show. But at no point will I feel like I could take ownership. And the Hussein is a place like that where I could take ownership of what was happening there. I was always, I want to say like an insignificant part of it. I wanted to experience it for what it was doing for me.
But whilst doing so, you were respectful.
Extremely respectful. That was me on religion all the time. I was bad talk religion. I'm not religious, you know this. But I'm very, very respectful of people's religion because I feel people have the right. I want to have the right to say I don't want to be no religion at all.
Right, so you have to respect.
Yeah, I try and respect. Like you just watch your church on TV.
Yeah, no.
I just try to be respectful and
not be around.
Not be around. Make myself small. I am an insignificant part, just like you say. When you always come and find me to say, well, always come and say, let there be peace. Peace on earth, sign of peace. Yeah, you could come and sign a peace me right through. A matter of fact, that's a part of the Catholic Mass I used to look forward to.
Sign a peace?
Sign a peace. That's why you see birds in the church. All the time you sit down there watching this priest when you get sign a peace now. You know how far I used to go to get sign a peace to nice birds in the Catholic Church? But anyway, we digress. So cultural appropriation. Yeah. You want to play the clip from this white chocolate?
Well, that's up to you.
Yeah, let me do
Corey
that.
Shepherd podcast.
Okay.
I know that you engage in your work as well, engage heavily with the black community and Caribbean community. So I'm interested to know like if there's any like things that you've done or paths that you see forward.
I think it starts at home. Firstly, teaching your kids that it's not okay to be racist.
So how
I think
do you
he was
work
going
with
good
the,
there.
Caribbean community? Like what is...
What
you said
do
he works close with the Caribbean community.
Right.
What do you do? Like what is...
I'm a dancer.
Oh, because you dance with them. It feels like...
Nah.
She
No, I'm
was
just saying,
there to
like, what is
describe a little
the...
bit.
Like, what is... I don't know, like, you know when some people feel like... For example, I don't know you guys, but you might feel like you're in a better position to, like, advocate and kind of, like, maybe be a diplomat. But I want to know, like, what makes you feel as though you're in that position to do that? Especially, like, if you're dancing. You might do more. We might have discussions, but... Through the dance, is it like some sort of...
Yeah, whining.
Okay, so you're like on Instagram. How many followers?
160k.
Shout out to you, 160k followers for busting wines.
So you just whine?
I wouldn't say I just whine. I used to live in St. Lucia for sort of 2 years. That gave me the opportunity to learn about the culture.
And your following is predominantly black?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
So does that mean, I don't want to speak for you, but does that mean that you have had more access to black culture?
Yeah, access to black culture, I guess, yeah.
Okay.
It's definitely given me the opportunity to learn a lot more. But I wouldn't say that gives me
higher on the black scale?
More black wits.
Like,
it doesn't mean that you know
a unique position to advocate more than the next person, kind of thing, you know. But
when you were in those communities, though, did you actively seek education though? Because is it just from hindsight you believe through your natural interactions that you've learned? Because I don't think these are situations that we're going through that you can learn ad hoc. I think it's something that you would actually have to ask the right questions, because I've got white friends who would never know what I'm going through. I don't bring that to the table.
Yeah,
so for me, I get what you're saying. You spent 2 years in St. Lucia and you dance, and your audience is white. Are you black? But at the same time, do you ever think as well that like the reason why you have maybe that platform as well is because you're a white person doing these dances? Maybe that if I was
of
a black
course,
girl,
I know
dancing,
that is the reason. Obviously, that is the reason, because
so
my whole brand is around that I'm a white person that can whine, and obviously that's a rarity.
There's so many things we can kind of pick at and say like, well, one, you're exploiting black dance and black culture, and two, you're not, you just went to St. Lucia, and just because you were next to the culture doesn't mean you understand the culture, doesn't mean you're even advocating for us. Like, just because you have a dance page with loads of followers, like, I don't think if I had a whining dance page, I don't think I'd have that many followers, because it doesn't look, you never know.
What do you think about his whining exploits? And you think guys fear like he exploiting black culture?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe that he hasn't done any research. He doesn't know much about the culture. And he said it himself.
Okay, right, this is what I'm trying to figure out, right? Why I need to, like, know a whole, what's the thing about needing to know a whole lot about
my
the
thing
culture?
is, if you just want to get up on a stage and whine, that's fine. But when you want to come on platforms like this...
No, well, I agree with you there. That is, I don't know why you would go on that platform unprepared.
And you're uninformed.
Yeah, he really uninformed.
So just stay on the stage and whine with your 160K followers, but don't come on platforms now to act like if you don't know.
But I think, you see, the organizers of the platform, right? One of the criticisms of Black Lives Matter movement is that they don't listen to anybody else. So you like the idea of having what they call white allies in the States, which I don't understand these terms, but at some point, somebody will listen to somebody for this issue to be over. Right? And bringing him, I give him credit for appearing on the platform.
No, because he's looking for the next 160K.
Well, that real sad. That I don't know.
That's what he's looking for.
No, well, the thing about it is you can't say that it's hard to just accuse him of that, because he could genuinely, if he lives in St. Lucia and saying, it's not to say that he don't like black people, he like black people.
Yeah, I am not getting from
culture.
this that he doesn't like black people and he doesn't like black culture. He's just uninformed.
Right.
And so...
But this is the question. Should you be able to earn? So in other words, is there a problem with earning off another culture if you don't engross yourself and educate yourself about the culture?
If you want to be on platforms where it is being discussed, yes.
Yeah, the platforms, that would be always the hard part for
Yeah.
me, because if somebody call me to be on a platform on any issue,
Right.
even if I don't know anything about it, I'm going to find out real thing about that, like talking points at
When
least.
under some research, he wasn't prepared.
But you see, a part of it might also be that he feel, and this is the whole idea, the privilege thing, right? He feel he black too. So it's easy when you...
I didn't get
Think
that.
about this, right? If you move and go to another country,
Right.
where everybody else different from you, and it's not like if you go as a trainee and you're going to Iceland and thing, right? You embrace Icelandic culture. So what is doing in Iceland? Stomp and make the march and all them kind of thing when they start the rugby game?
I don't know.
Let me assume I go with my black self and I learn all that, and imagine that I'm novel, so that I am the first black man they see doing this Icelandic chanting before a rugby
But
game, right?
if you go onto a platform and they ask you certain questions, you will give credit.
No, but let me say this. If I go there and I have a novelty and I embraced, and every time I do it, people, they're cheering for me more than they're cheering for their own Icelandic people. And when I do it, when they do it, the white guys, nobody don't share the video or nothing. They have 10,000 followers on their thing, and I have 100 and something thousand because I am novel. That happens, right?
Right.
My question is this: isn't it easy for me to then believe I am that? It's easy for me to fall myself into believing, or fool myself into believing I am part of that culture and I am one of them. It's like black people. When everybody black, we accept, or black Americans in particular, black Americans feel if you're black, you can say nigger, and nobody else can say nigger if you're white. But when I grew up in New York and the Bronx and thing, I hear people saying that Fat Joe,
Right.
he got a pass Because he not black, but he's Hispanic and he grew up around us. And I find that is fair. He is. Nobody can say that Fat Joe isn't one of the guys. And I wouldn't feel offended to hear him say nothing. Nothing he say can offend me. So I feel like he go on that platform there. He go in there as a St. Lucian. It's easy to get yourself into
Living there
that
for
mode.
2 years?
Yeah, I lived Jamaica for 2 years. I miss Jamaica like if I...
That is two completely different things you're saying there. You saying
What?
you're missing Jamaica?
No, all right. I agree with you there. It's not like if I don't claim to be Jamaican.
But that's the bottom line.
No, but I'm saying I'm more Jamaican than you. You understand? If you never lived there or you never been there or anything, I feel like I have Jamaica is a part of me, but I's a part of it too.
Okay.
But I don't see any issue coming out of me even coming out and saying, boy, I's a yard man. I like Guyana bad too. I could say I's a
But
Guyanese.
that's the problem. He doesn't see an issue either. And you don't see an issue, but the Jamaicans might have an issue.
No, but I think the Jamaicans would have an issue with a white person saying that, like how he's saying that.
No, I don't feel so.
You feel any other black person saying that they would have an issue with that? I know.
I just think he is not he was not well prepared for this interview.
No,
he
but-
did no research. He just lived St. Lucia for 2 years and he could whine. Well, he feel as though he could whine. So
you
and
discounted him whining too.
and he said it. He said it is a novelty.
Yeah, he know that. But
He
what I'm
knows
saying
that.
is, if somebody called me now to be on a panel and the panel is about what it takes to be a Trinidadian, I'd rather do no research. You know? I don't have any research to do.
Right.
I go and talk about my Trinidadian experience. From the time you hear me talk, you know, he's a Trini.
Right.
Now, again, it's easy for him to lull himself into, and I think it's a false sense of security. Yeah, understand that. I'm not trying
But
to
all
say.
of this is assumption. You assuming that this is how he feels.
You know, assuming so based on my experience, if you go somewhere else and you become a part of that culture, you see yourself as that. So he might not think that he have a lot of research to do. Well, he wrong about that for sure. But he might be going there thinking that I go in as an ally. He not going because you yourself say he not something like he again, so he's a racist or nothing like that. He go in there as representing the culture. Like, what else is saying?
Like one of the tropes of privilege is that it's invisible when you have it, right? So for those of us around the table who have any type of privilege, it's very likely that until we're confronted with that thing, we're not aware that our lives are easier than other people's in a certain way.
Or maybe you do use that privilege and you say, oh, I have this privilege, I can whine, let me use that. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I think if you do have privilege, you probably use it. Like, we'll take anything we can get.
I think,
in this world.
your point about the Hillsong thing, and this is why I think it links in the sense that obviously don't feel like we're attacking just that disclaimer, that kind of stuff we have to do in this climate. see that? No, because I don't want anyone to say they were attacking the person. But with the Hillsong thing, some of the things I feel like when it comes to what people actually should do, sometimes for white people, is to not only drop the mic but walk away from the mic and walk away from their privilege when they can.
Power.
And
So
this is
the
why
next
I find
white
those
girl
questions
quiet.
interesting. Not because I feel like what you're doing as an individual,
Smart, yes.
you're entitled to like anything you like. But all these things are small actions that accumulate into systematic issues that we need to start looking at the patterns. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So if
yeah.
everyone went to St. Lucia like you, all the dance schools will be owned by white people and all the black kids will be in the studio being, thank you for giving me dance. You see what I'm
You understand what she's saying? That what she's saying there real valid because now the guy made a good point at the host of the panel. He's saying that privilege could be invisible to the person who have the privilege. That's true.
Right.
And for all of us, like sometimes when somebody points out something to me, that's when I be like, all right, well, I understand where they're coming from. It's really true. And then you either change your action based on that or you just continue or whatever you do.
Right, but there's a point where you step back
Well, for me,
and you look at it.
for me,
But
and
some
maybe
people
for
really
you
don't
too.
care.
No, some people really don't care. So it will be interesting to see what white chocolate do from here on because the backlash is real. And you know what was interesting after this came out? Like a lot of people came out from St. Lucia. St. Lucia reactions, they like any other Caribbean island, the response going to be strong to this. And something else came out where he had used, I can't remember if it was lyrics from a song or something that somebody was saying that he took it from them and never
right.
gave any credit and things. So it's not looking good on him overall.
Just by using the name white chocolate.
I always find that's a strange thing.
A fine. You're
Like
trying to
you-
say you're white by a black. What are you trying to say?
You know what's strange about that to me? You ever hear somebody call themselves black milk? you never hear no black person call
No,
themselves.
well, they would say chocolate milk, babe. They wouldn't say black milk. They would say chocolate milk.
All right, okay. You ever hear anybody call themselves chocolate milk?
Yeah, babe.
When there's no black man is calling himself no chocolate
Yeah,
milk.
oh gosh.
Nobody. There's a porn
Babe,
star.
are you sure if you Google that now,
Babe, it's
you're
a no
seeing
black
black
man.
people with the nickname chocolate milk.
No.
Come on.
Vanilla nigga. Nobody in calling themselves them thing. I never hear no black person trying to, it's like, it's always like black people it's like a vibe, an energy that people just want to be a part of. And going back to dancehall, right? You see it a lot in dancehall music where people from Japan come over there and they want to be a part of it. And I see like even in the Sound Clash world, I was talking about Mighty Crown. A big part of Mighty Crown problem clashing back in the day was somebody going to tell them, probably Ricky Trooper, going to tell them that you're Japanese and this and that, and they come in to try and take over dancehall music to get the crowd defensive.
Right.
And not like Mighty Crown no more. And I remember like Mighty Crown in one clash saying, I'm not here to take over dancehall, I just want to be a part of it. No, I think that's what you're saying too, because those types of statements have a certain amount of humility.
Yeah, just by...
and respect for the culture.
Just by saying that. You're showing me that you're not coming. Suppose I am feeling as though you're coming to take over.
It's easy to feel that way. And that's why I was saying that Jamaican mightn't feel that way with me. Right, from a smaller island, they if you talk to Jamaicans, as far as they're concerned, Jamaica is it.
Right.
So a Trini coming to take over that nobody in studying you. But a white
but it's
person...
the audacity.
Well, they're going to ignore you with audacity and put you off the island. But a white person is a real threat because they...
Conquerors.
You see, the position of privilege goes there. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. The colonizing, it goes beyond just wanting to take over a culture in theory.
Right.
They have the resources and things to do that. That's why I find she can plan for him, because she was saying that you might be blind to it and it might be naive or whatever it is. She said, but if it was more people like you who go into St. Lucia for the first time, she said black people will be asking white people how to wine. And you think about that for a second. That's that real loaded statement.
And, then there's a way that, look, I mean, and this might seem, insignificant, but the other day when the Kardashians were wearing the braids,
I remember that.
Remember that was an issue.
And one of them had put on a Biggie and Tupac jersey and that kind of thing.
Right. So when you see things like that happen, and you see we were oppressed for so long.
Oh my God.
So that when you see
things...
When
you
say we. My people.
Oh God. Maybe this is not Wakanda. No, this is not a...
We were oppressed for so long that when you see things like this happen and you're feeling like you need to speak up, no, this is ours.
No, that is ours. All right. Now that Kardashian with the braids thing, it was another good example of that. Because again, I come in from the standpoint where I don't fully understand it. But when I saw that, I understood what people were saying, because...
No, come and rename this thing now. And
the rename of it is one thing.
You want to call
but
it
it's
something.
Like this, right? If you braid your hair and put it on Instagram, you can't get that amount of likes or follows or make no money off it. Mm-hmm. And when they come with the Biggie and the Tupac jersey and thing, I mean, that's it. I could see why anybody would feel insulted. But I mean, the crown of my boy White Chocolate is this, right?
I'm saying, so that's that. But the point I'm trying to make, but the point I'm trying to make is that sometimes, would you ever think about going, because this is a role that a black person could have taken, would I ever stop doing this dance in this way? And you don't have to, but could you see with Hillsong as well, it could be the fact that, you know what, if I want to be the pastor of the head of church, for the sake of my commitment to this, you say it. Because sometimes I feel like white people want to be the gatekeepers, even anti-racism now. Yeah. Don't be like, guys, come to me, hi, this is the book I've read, Natives by Akala. It's like, we've heard from you. Fragility. Do you know what I mean? For me, ask me what they should do, or some people could do, is walk away from that. Acknowledge it, but walk away. Could you do it?
Could I walk away? Yes, I could. Yeah, I could.
Will I do it?
But the thing is, with what I do, it's obviously just a dance move. So whining is part of Caribbean culture, and it's been there for years, right? What I did was basically come and brand it in a way, like, so not brand whining, but as in like,
he's like, stop there.
It's just like turn it into something that can be a profession, right? So I'm not going to say before me, because there was people before me, but it never got to that.
I was the first. Yeah.
Right. So I think in a way I have been paving a way for black people to come after me.
Wow.
And
because this was not done before.
You know when I'm when I'm speaking, it's off-putting. Everyone keeps like looking at each other like
nonsense you're saying.
Yeah, so it's like that term. Well, first, before pave the way, right? When he say he branded, that worrying for me.
Yeah.
Like the history of you know where branding starts off? Branding starts off as ownership. Brands, all we know now, is about business and style and
labels.
Yes, labels and quality and all that. But brands start off as ownership. When man put an X on a cattle and a he cattle. You know what else you use a brand?
Man put an X on a human.
All right. So when you say you brand it, that the song different coming from a white man to me than a black man or any other kind of man. Because forget the idea of branding slaves, that's bad enough, right? But how much ideas? You know what it takes me back to like music. Like when you remember there was that movie we watched about the black guy who had to get the white driver. Yeah, the Italian
Green
driver.
Book.
Green Book was the name of it,
Green
right?
Book,
yeah, it's sort of like that. There was a part in that movie where he went to play for some white people and he couldn't use the washroom in their house.
Yeah.
And he insisted that he now using an outhouse. And he went and drive all the way back to the hotel. And they were like, all right, cool, let us know when you reach
No
back.
problem.
You have to play for 2 hours, regardless of what you do. And that's the kind of, when he say a brand it, that was like in the States in particular, in their music, there were a lot of accusations that black artists were writing songs and coming up with melodies and hooks and phrases. And not just not getting credit, but somebody else take it and make themselves wealthy. Well, and imagine the person who making themselves wealthy starting off from a position where they're already okay-ish. You know what I mean? They have a decent, they're better off than you. And they take what you do and go on, you can't claim it. Elvis Presley was accused of that a lot of times when they come at him with that king of pop. They said the way Elvis used to dance, used to do a kind of knee shaking thing.
Yeah.
They said that was taken from somebody who they would have seen on the chitlin circuit. When you're on that chitlin circuit, you're in the South. From Florida, go up to maybe the Carolinas, maybe. And unless you break in through in music outside of there, like big like New York, Chicago, and on the West Coast, like California, you're not breaking through. You're not going to be a big time musician and make the kind of money that them fellas making.
Yeah. So for you to just eat a little bit.
I mean, you eating a little bit and a man taking that is very, very hard.
But
Forget the money.
Yeah,
and
I'm
all
not
that.
going to say that. That has to be hurtful to
Very
see
heart-wrenching.
your moves and to hear your songs and your melodies being performed, and
Yeah.
you can't do anything about that.
Yeah. Now, fast forward to today. I find that the US, and I'm talking about them in particular, where the Black Lives Movement matter started, it is a lot like that still. So, for instance, I heard somebody talk last week about how they now realize what they mean. I think it was Andrew Schultz, a comedian. He now realized what it mean when they say the NBA and the NFL is modern day slavery.
Right.
And I think, dude, you must now understand, because you can't live the black experience as a white Jewish person. I don't know if I blame you for not understanding, but I want you to know that you don't understand. Because the thing about it is, yes, you're highly paid and you have all this kind of thing, but you are owned.
Right.
Somebody could sell you. They have stories about men coming to work when the NBA come in your stadium and then you find out you traded to another team. A man sell your contract. You had no say. You still have a family,
right,
and children in school.
But then the others would argue that was your choice.
Nah, well, it is their choice. But the thing about it is you're making that choice under duress. Because you have to get out of the hood and mind your family and, uproot yourself. Somebody come and present you with $10 million now. It's hard to say no to it, because
when you have a talent or a skill.
No, but not just the talent or the skill, but you have generational debt,
right,
that you have to pay off. You don't own anything as a race, as a family, as the history, your lineage. You don't own anything. So $10 million, it's real hard to say no to, and you could sell your talent. Unfortunately, a lot of the talent you could sell for that money is singing and dancing and shucking and jiving and playing, and that's sad in itself. But think about this. What if my 10 million is making you 10 billion?
Right.
Is that a fair deal? That's why I rate men like LeBron, who take their own contracts, get their own people to manage them. They half kill Allen Iverson for that back in the day, but LeBron come and do it in a way that I guess more palatable to people, because his friends, and I like Kevin Hart too, who do the same thing. When Kevin Hart go on tour, it's his friends who open for him. Remember that show we watched with him? Mm-hmm. So it's like watching those shows always strike a chord for me. Especially, I think the panel did real good to invite him to it. And like I was saying on it, they have another white girl there. When she did speak, what you describing is the way she came across more. Like very, very humble.
Right.
And more so, not even picking a side or fighting for a cause, Her stance was like, I try to understand.
Yeah, she came to learn.
Yeah, she wasn't exactly well researched or anything like that either, but she come to learn.
She came to understand, because she said she's trying to learn more. Mm-hmm. So this would have been a good platform for her to get some knowledge.
And it's a good place to start the learning process too. But you see, again, when I am there doing Iceland and I doing that thing and everybody that gets to his head clearly.
Yeah.
Because I can't believe he say brand it. But he don't understand when he said brand
even
it.
when he said brand it, he had to stop.
Well, he's stopping because the other people reacting. Because when you say brand it to other black people in a room, when you say brand something that I own or create, as a black person, what I hear is steal it.
Right.
Which is historically what happens to us. Mm-hmm. If you allow anybody else to brand anything, like Kanye West, they say he gone mad, but listen to him. If you allow them to brand it, quote unquote, a black person hearing that as Elvis Presley.
Right.
But then he went on to say, after he said brand it, I can't believe that he felt that he had to say, no. It's not like they had people before me. What the hell are you talking about people before you? For you to have that thought in your mind.
Yeah.
All right, let me go back to Hussein, right? I never thought I will never talk about it and say, yeah, well, they had people before me. I was insignificant. I still can't beat. I'm an onlooker. I glad that I grew up in St. James and I get to be a part of that. I feel honored that I could even say I ever beat a drum. Don't ask me to beat no drum now because I can't beat it.
So you don't call it dancing?
No.
What you call it?
You don't dance the Hussein.
No,
I don't know nothing about no dancing, no Hussein.
What you call it?
This is a religious festival, so you're going to make nobody come for me.
No, I just ask.
There are people who used to say used to dance the red moon and the green moon.
Right, that's
but
what
I don't know if there's the right
term.
Neither is dancing it. But you used to spin the green moon and the red moon. But I don't know the dancing the Hussein.
I hear people say that.
You're singing like white chocolate.
White chocolate.
Mm-hmm. But, and then the nail in the coffin was, you paved the way. Now, you understand that for him to say that in a forum like that, where you could see he was nervous, right? And you could see he was off-put by all the people who, like, they're waiting for him and they came for him.
Right.
So you're on your P's and Q's, but you're still, even when you're trying to figure out how to put words together, that's it. Even in a situation like that, you could start off by saying you paved the way, because that's how he feel. You know, he stopped just short of saying, I put St. Lucia on the map.
Right.
If he was around white people, or if he was in a comfortable environment.
But he has probably had these conversations with his white friends and family and so on.
Other black people too. Other black people who let that slide. But my girl there, she was the right person for him. But he has said before that I put St. Lucia on the map. I bust St. Lucia. I put his country out there. I have 160-something thousand followers. And the St. Lucia Tourism Authority, salute Chris Gustav. I will talk to him about this too. But they do have 160-something thousand followers on Instagram.
But there's a lot of, you will find a lot of people with that type of following and so on, thinking like that,
Of course.
Yeah, we have X amount of followers, so we at liberty to say certain things. This is the time we're living in.
No, and the thing about it is, now it is ludicrous to me, the whole thing. Like, I couldn't, when I saw the thing bubbling on social media, it took me a while before I watched the issue and thing, because from the time I hear your name White Chocolate, I don't know what's coming already.
Right.
But it reminded me of when we had done this episode talking about Christopher Columbus. It's the exact same thing. I feel like for him to be on that pedestal that he think he on, is a lot of St. Lucians put him there. And I heard a girl who was on I wish I could give her credit. I'll find out her name and add it to the episode. But she was saying basically that she made a video maybe a couple of years ago talking about why they lauding this guy and he doing something that we do every day and can't earn nothing from doing. And she said a lot of people came at her.
Right.
They were saying, why you're crying it down and somebody come to our culture. But we have a tendency, if I guess in Dusha, like Trinidad too, we have a tendency the whole Caribbean. Mm-hmm. We like to see somebody who is not of our culture
take it and
do something with it. Not take it. We don't want to reach a point like where he reached. But we all encompass it, we embrace it. Yeah. I don't know. And the thing about it too, right, is I don't feel he could have been as big a star if he was in Trinidad. Because to me, right, like white people whining and thing is not a big thing here. I would not. There's a guy called Juve Mike. He's like the version of white chocolate that you describing, because Juve, my name is Juve.
Right.
I've never seen him go out like be disrespectful to the culture.
Because he's smart.
Well, I think he's genuine. You know what I mean? I think he's genuine. He just enjoy carnival and he love it. And I think he ain't trying to take it. And you imagine he paved the way for Juve. I don't know. He just is one of them people who we embrace, where we love that they're here.
Right.
And that's the way Trinidad culture is. But I mean, would you like to see white man wine? Is this something you fetishize the wine of white man? I like to see. I never eat a white meat yet.
Well, I will tell you.
What you go tell me?
Full stop.
God, I see some kind of hall pass. Nothing working out in this podcast at all. But yeah, that was an odd one for me overall. And that is like he rediscovered whining. That's what it sounds like to me.
Columbus.
That's what I mean. You rediscover the thing, you pave the way for everybody. Anyhow, have you here for an hour and a half? Right? Plenty of time. You good at anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think we covered.
You want to shout out people? You want to shout out your baddies?
Baddies and them know themselves. They know themselves.
All right, okay. Tell everybody bye.
Bye, folks.
All right, guys, next week.